Good, happy Wednesday evening. It is Wednesday, August 17, 2022. I'm Riley King. Welcome to this Wednesday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Wednesday evening, so let's get started right now. First up, video shows Zazowski being transferred to ICE custody. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Good. We know that when your pets feel good, you feel good. That's what we call a pet.
Now to a News 9 Investigates exclusive. This is Volodymyr Zhukovsky being transferred last week from the custody of the Grafton County Department of Corrections to ICE agents. This is the first time we've seen video of him after he was acquitted of all charges related to the 2019 deadly Randolph crash. News 9 has filed several Freedom of Information Act requests to find out what exactly Zhukovsky is being detained on. The 26-year-old Ukrainian national is being held at a Valley ICE processing center in Pennsylvania.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Incidents at Sununu Youth Service Center led to call for police. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
At Good. We know that when your pets feel good, you feel good. That's what we call a partnership. Like how taking your dog for a walk is taking yourself for a walk too. And that's Good.
Gene, I spoke briefly with Commissioner Lori Chivinette prior to the Governor and Executive Council meeting. She said she wanted to review the tapes before making any extended comments, but did say no one was taken to the hospital. According to the Manchester police log, the call came in at about 8 o'clock last night. According to state police, they were called to assist with an unruly group of youth that were refusing to cooperate and follow instructions. Now, police say they were able to get the situation under control and resolved. While the commissioner does want to review the tapes before commenting on camera, she did say that she believes there are only 13 residents at the facility, and last night there were 8 staff members on duty. She also thinks that just a few of the residents were involved in the incident. Again, she said she would have more to say on this matter later on this afternoon. We will bring you that information beginning at News 9 at 4. Reporting live in Manchester, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Franklin man accused of assaulting children ordered held without bail. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Demand the best for your vision with the latest Essilor lens technologies at your local Essilor expert.
Ordered that he be detained without bail based on those new allegations and the nature of those new allegations.
38-year-old Andrew Trudell is being held without bail after new allegations came out from 3 children he knows about abuse dating back to 2019.
One particularly heartbreaking moment where one of the children described that this happened to her because she was a bad kid.
According to court paperwork, Trudell is being charged with 5 counts of second-degree assault, 2 counts of felonious sexual assault, and 2 counts of criminal threatening with a deadly weapon.
would sit on top of him and hold knives to his throat. Multiple different knives, kitchen knives, bread knives. A box cutter was used at one point.
Trudell was taken into custody in April of 2021 on similar charges involving another child, after a letter was sent to the detective alleging more abuse from Trudell. On August 15th of this year, during forensic interviews, 3 other children disclosed other alleged abuse. Trudell was arrested the next day.
I'm not surprised. I think based on the crimes, he should be helped.
Deputy Chief John Thomas praised his department for the work they did on this case because he says cases with kids can be tough.
Any investigation involving, children or, a sexual assault type incident, those are very difficult cases to investigate.
And he also gives a lot of credit to the Merrimack County Child Advocacy Center for their help by bringing in a forensic interviewer to do their in-depth interviews with the victims.
The CAC assisted in the investigation in this largely.
Now, Trudell did appear to his arraignment today, but that was virtually. Now, tomorrow there's going to be an evidentiary hearing at 2 o'clock here at the Merrimack Superior Courthouse where he is going to have to appear in person. Live here in Concord, Troy Lynch, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Mike Pence says in New Hampshire stop, he would consider testifying before January 6th committee. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
When your child has a disability, you need to be tough. Not just for them, for everyone around you. I see that toughness in Maggie Hassan. Her family is like mine, and she knows how to advocate for all of New Hampshire.
Asked point blank by New England Council President Jim Brett if he would testify before the January 6th committee if called, former Vice President Mike Pence said while such a request would be constitutionally unprecedented, he wouldn't rule it out.
If ever any formal invitation rendered to us, we'd give it due consideration, but my first obligation is to continue to uphold my oath.
In a one-on-one interview, we asked Pence about the timeline revealed in the committee's last hearing. You mentioned in your remarks that you thought the work of the January 6th committee has become politicized in some way. It's a fact that President Trump did nothing, took no action, said nothing for 187 minutes while Congress was under siege and your life was under threat. Was that dereliction of duty?
Well, let me say, obviously, I have no idea what was happening at the White House on that tragic day. I know that for our part, we were huddled in a secure location just under the Capitol building, and we were working to support law enforcement efforts to secure the building and also to reconvene the Congress and complete our work under the Constitution of the United States. I think the American people can make their own judgment about what happened that day, and I think most Americans have.
Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, there you go on that video and that report. River Dave moves out of New Hampshire and returns to Maine. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
At Good Good, we know that when your pets feel good, you feel good. That's what we call a petnership. Like how taking your dog for a walk is taking yourself for a walk too. And that's Good Good.
The defendant's chair sits empty inside Merrimack County Superior Court as the case against David Lidstone is brought back before a judge.
But I think this was a deliberate failure to appear. I think it's a waiver of his right to be present. I think it's a waiver of his right to a hearing. I think it's a waiver of his right to be heard.
Lidstone, also known as River Dave, has been at the center of a years-long legal battle over a piece of property he has occupied for more than 25 years but does not own. The court previously issued a permanent injunction for the 81-year-old to leave the land, but attorney Lisa Snow Wade, who represents the actual property owner, says Lidstone has returned. Court documents filed by Snow Wade shows Lidstone has built another structure after his original home burnt down over the summer.
The roof has been put back on, solar panels have been installed, a wood stove's been installed, and he's been living there. In direct violation of this court's order, the permanent injunction that's been in place.
Judge Andrew Shulman found Lidstone in contempt of the court's injunction and ordered him to leave the property. Lidstone has until April 11th to do so, or he must pay $500 for every day that he remains. The money will go to the land's current owner.
Hopefully he gets the message, but we'll see.
And tonight we have reached out to David Lidstone for a comment, but our calls and messages have gone unanswered. Reporting live in Concord, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. President Biden signs Inflation Reduction Act into law. Let's take a listen to that video from NBC News.
I want to take a walk on the wild side. Nah, I won't stop till I'm satisfied. Hey, I just want to go out. So satisfied. It's so satisfied. Let's get to your headlines. 7:30. President Biden signed the massive so-called Inflation Reduction Act yesterday. He called it one of the most significant laws in U.S. history. It's designed to raise about $700 billion, mostly through corporate tax hikes and prescription drug savings, and more than half of that money is intended for climate change and health care provisions. Now, a single Republican voted for that bill. Critics say it will lead to bigger government and a larger deficit.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Have a great evening. Good night. Goodbye.